let's go to our next story. You know, to say that as many as 4,722 people are kidnapped in a calendar year in my country, your country, that is alarming. To imagine that as much as 2.57 billion naira was paid out as ransom is, to say the least, repulsive. Now, according to SBM Intelligence, an African-focused market and intelligence firm, these depressing statistics tend to highlight kidnapping as Nigeria's growing veritable evil enterprise. The startling report adds that 997 incidents, 762 fatalities were recorded. Now, so many states have criminalized kidnapping to the extent of making it a capital offense. Yet, the evil enterprise endures, Wale.
It's a very unfortunate problem. The current decima of violence, blood, mystery, and sorrow.
Bloodletting, yeah.
Yes. The Nigerians paid 2.5 billion, but actually the demand was 48 billion naira. You can see the level of their expectation, these criminals. And there were, according to the report, about 762 deaths.
Oh, yeah.
When we are not in a war situation. 32 people were killed even after they had paid ransom. In some cases, ransom bearers were also killed.
Okay.
And this
mindlessly.
And this also involved women and children. The leading figure comes from Northwest, which has produced the highest number of presidents of Nigeria, ministers of defense, and the leading states are Zamfara, Katsina, and Kaduna. Katsina alone has produced 2 former presidents of Nigeria, Yar'Adua and then Buhari. So I think we might not be wrong to conclude that we have a kind of asymmetric, low-scale war in Nigeria, looking at the number of people that are the victims of this crime.
In supposed peacetime.
Yeah, peacetime. So it's a huge challenge. And I really want to say that the last 12 years, the 8 years of President Buhari, I think it actually got out of hand. This was at the time you had terrorists going to the airport in Kaduna, about 200 of them on bike, armed. They stormed the airport and shot one official. This was the time that railways were, trains were attacked, people kidnapped, 200 people, 400 people. Even the former president's, traditional law in this community was also kidnapped. So I think it was 8 years of horror. And I have the belief that what is happening in the next 2 years is to deal with the mess. So if you look at this figure, yes, that's my own feeling, at least judging from even what is happening in my own community.
Yeah.
I think during that period of 8 years, traveling from here to Ibadan, you dare not travel in the evening. Something must happen. In my own community, at least once in 2 weeks, there will be kidnapping. That period of 8 years. You remember what happened in Ogun State, where Yewa community...
You think this is a franchise?
I think, for me, I believe it may not be right to say that the APC brought in that, some people into the country and they got out of hand. But at least a section of the party, maybe the CPC faction, because one of them said that they actually brought them ahead of 2015 election. And maybe they felt if you didn't win the election, they would have caused chaos all over the country. Now it was difficult to deal with them. They were already armed. So how would they survive? They had to disperse themselves across the country. At a time in those states, I recall that the former governor Rotimi said, they gave them ultimatum. And the president issued a statement that, look, under the ECOWAS treaty, they had freedom of movement. So I think there was all sorts of things that happened in that period of 8 years that I believe that it was responsible for the kind of situation we're having today.
Yeah.
I believe in the past 2 years, we have made tremendous progress in terms of tackling security. And I hope we can continue with this momentum so that in the next 2 years, we'll be able to deal decisively with the sponsors of terrorism.
I don't know about you. I'm waiting for the next kidnapper that will be brought to book.
Yes, Citizen.
And to also consider that a couple that was kidnapped, you know, talking about the second leg of this story, the kidnappers want 600 million.
Yes, there's a couple, there's a young man, the wife and the child that were kidnapped in Katsina State. Until now, they've not been. But I have to tell you that kidnapping has become a very lucrative business in Nigeria. And that's the fact.
It has taken over from armed robbery.
Armed robbery. Nobody goes on armed robbery. No.
This armed robbery.
Used to be.
In kidnapping, you shoot a lot less bullets, make a lot more money.
Yes. And that is one part of it. It has become a very, very lucrative business. And if you see the number of people the kind of people that go into it, there is even more sophisticated ones. Not just a Fulani bandit, and it's across the country. That is true. Third one is that citizen, I don't believe in these figures and this data. You know why? The reason being that you come to realize that these are the reported cases. And I'll tell you that for every 1, 2 reported cases, there are over 8, 9, 10 unreported. So these are the ones that were captured. So the ones that were not captured are the main issue. So this figure will be
but these statistics we have are frightening enough.
It is frightening. When you look at about 2.5 billion and a demand of over 47 billion, it is an industry in itself. Now, the issue is that how did we get here? Now, we'll talk about...
By road.
Now, we're talking about law. Let us even look at the laws. Several states have enacted capital punishment.
Including my state, Akwa Ibom.
Including Akwa Ibom. Now, the question you ask yourself, how many people have been prosecuted and dealt with?
Brought to court in the first place.
Yes, it's wanted to bring you to court. Even when they bring you to court, prosecuted on these laws. How many of our governors have signed off when these criminals... And that is the problem we have.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry. Billionaire kidnapper Evans.
Yeah.
We have not heard the last
It's still and that is why. So until we start, until we start dealing with behaviors like this decisively, I don't think we can ever get it right.
And I can only second guess BKO's reaction to it. He is even more scandalized. BKO, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've always said that Zamfara is the headquarters of kidnapping in our country. Even when people are kidnapped in Niger State, or kidnapped in Katsina, or kidnapped in Kaduna, they take them all the way to Zamfara, because that is the capital of kidnapping in our country. And you can see the number of people the number of kidnapped victims from Zamfara alone, 1,203 in total. Whereas Katsina reported 131. Kaduna recorded 629 victims, while 180 kidnappers and 19 security agents lost their lives. These figures show that even there is improvement in security. The NSA is doing a very good job. I've seen so many cases of people being rescued and being released to their families. But we know that we have to defeat banditry. And as I've said before, it is not one approach that we must use. We must use both the kinetic and non-kinetic approaches. I know for a fact that in some cases, military approach will not work. So you can then look at what can be done by allowing our people to continue to fall victim to these businessmen, because this is what this thing is. They are doing it for the money, and they are making a lot of money, the kind of money that they cannot make elsewhere. You can imagine collecting 120 million from a single kidnapped victim's family, one kidnapped victim. So there is no business that you can do that will give this kind of profits. And that's why they are prepared to die, despite the fact that they are being bombed by the Air Force, they are not prepared to give up banditry because it is a gold mine for them.
Yeah.
But as a country, we must make up our minds that kidnappers will not be tolerated in our country, and that our people have suffered enough. Everyone is now involved. It's no longer, you cannot say, oh, every kidnap case must have been by Fulani. No. These days, from some of the language that some people speak, victims of kidnapping come to tell us clearly that, look, these people that kidnapped us, they were clearly not even Fulanis. So giving the impression that only Fulanis are involved in this thing is wrong. It's now becoming an all-commerce affair. Everyone wants to make money from kidnapping, and they know that it's a lot easier and poses less risk than armed robbery.
Yeah, sorry,
or pickpocketing. So they are taking to it, and it will take a mighty effort for us to defeat banditry, because they have so much money. They bought weapons on the black market, and they are recruiting boys.
Okay,
BKO. Boys.
Sorry, BKO. Sorry, BKO. I must stop you here. Time is tight, but not before thanking you for your intervention. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, gentlemen. Adewale Adeoye, I thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
No less so, CKN.
Thank you very much for having me.
And the Backroom Boys, led by the producer-director. We thank you very kindly.
Thank you very much.
We must apply the brakes here. But if you missed any part of this show, not to worry, later tonight at 11:30, a repeat broadcast will be on. But we'll resume our normal broadcast of Journalist Hangout from 5 p.m. tomorrow evening. Join us then. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye now. Take care.